How's it going? You're listening to Born Optimistic here with Saoirse Casey. Saoirse, how's it going?
All good, thank you.
Saoirse, where do you sit on the optimism spectrum?
Somewhere above the middle, probably.
Why do you feel this way? Have you always felt this way? So you feel you're shading towards optimistic, but you're not like wildly optimistic.
God, this is such a difficult question. Oh my goodness. I would say I'm generally happy, yeah, until I think about awful things. I suppose I'm quite susceptible to who I'm hanging out with and all of that.
And have you always been a happy person? Has this always been your disposition?
Yeah, lately, yeah. As a kid, definitely, and lately, definitely. I think I had a good few teenage years where it was mostly like anxiety and things like that, but these days, not really. Yeah.
The whole notion of you picking up a guitar, well, I don't even know, was a guitar the first instrument you touched?
Yes, like the first instrument I started to learn.
Yeah.
Guitar, yeah.
Or even would have like messed with guitar was the thing.
Yeah, I mean, there was always a guitar around my house. My mum, my dad, my stepfather, like everyone had guitars, so it was unavoidable.
And were you encouraged towards the guitar, or was it just taken as inevitable?
Oh, my mum got me lessons at some point, and I think I did one or two, and I really didn't like it.
What kind of age were you?
Maybe 10. So then I just avoided the guitar for a good few years until maybe 15, and then started playing again properly.
And can you remember why you didn't like it when you were 10 or 11?
Oh, I wasn't very dedicated, and it was, proper lessons where they teach you scales.
Oh, God.
I think I just wanted to read books, and I didn't want to hurt my fingers. Yeah.
So then the idea of music being the thing that you do, that you're dedicating your life towards, to, how did that happen? How did that become a thing?
I don't really know, actually. I guess I just started writing songs without any expectation for them. It was just like an expression, some sort of cleaning out of emotions or memories. And then I think I played a few to different people, and they said, "Oh, that's actually good." And I was surprised. And then people around me started encouraging me to perform and to do concerts, and Declan O'Rourke actually asked me to support him one time, and it was an hour before the show, and it was in the INEC, so it's kind of a big venue and a lot of people, and I was terrified, but I just knew that I had to say yes because it would be too fun.
So he asked you an hour before the show to support him?
About an hour before, yeah. I just came to come and see him play, and I think my dad was playing too, and then that was kind of dropped on me, but I'm really glad I did it. And yeah.
Was that your first proper gig?
Yeah, that was my first support slot, yeah.
Wow.
It was good. It was good fun. I don't remember it though. That's the only thing about music, is that it's so like adrenaline filled and exciting that it's just over, and then you're like, what did I even say, or what did I do up there? Hopefully, I think it went all right because people are clapping, but who knows?
And does that feeling, how quickly that memory fades, make you just want it again then?
No, I think it's more nourishing than addictive. Like, I think it's, nourishing. So for the next while that you're not playing, I think you feel good, your morale is up, and that kind of thing.
So after this gig in the INEC, was that like a turning point for you, or kind of
I think I didn't realize it, but yeah, then more and more gigs just started happening, and then I started recording, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I'm kind of taking this seriously. So, yeah.
So there wasn't a morning when you woke up when you went, oh, music is what I'm doing now?
No, I think maybe that happened last week or something. When the album came out, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what I'm doing for now anyway. Yeah.
And was there, or is there? Say we're a week into your music career, so
Yes, we are.
even though you're really the amazing album that you've just released the week ago. I mean,
2 weeks, yeah.
there's a lot going on in it. We'll get to that. But my question is really, if there wasn't music, what would be the thing that you want to dedicate your life to? Is there a plan B? Is there another force pulling you towards it, or
Plan B. I think nature and animals. I'd like to maybe be a marine biologist or something along those lines. Or birds. I'd like to work with birds, like injured birds and stuff. Wildlife rehabilitation or something like that.
would you have any concerns about the state of the planet that you're being handed?
I think that we're all worried. And I think that there seems to be a lot of younger people today who are angry and, they want kind of justice. They're angry for decisions that were made without their permission, despite the fact that it's the world that they're going to inherit. But I think there's a lot of people trying to make good action to, fix what's going on.
And would you say it's a major source of day-to-day worry or concern for you?
Well, I remember the first time I learned what global warming meant was like a really traumatic moment. I remember being really upset and so I think it's one of my main anxieties because
What age were you when you learned what global warming is?
about 8 or 9, I think. And it's pretty scary sounding, especially for a kid. Well, for anybody, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose when I was a kid, the equivalent was like the threat of nuclear war, which, would have been in the air when I was kind of a similar age. I think the mad thing about it, though, is none of us are really party to the decisions that ruin our planet.
No.
We don't get asked by design. I suppose that we're not included in the conversation.
Yeah, it's set up that way, right?
So we don't have a say, or do we? Or what? Do you think there are things that my generation and your parents' generation have done wrong that can be changed, like with the benefit of hindsight?
Well, I'm definitely not an expert on this kind of thing. It's a funny one because, people have to also look after themselves and their families. And so I think a lot of things weren't done out of spite or anything like that, and that's natural as a species to want to do that. So there's just like a conflict between it. And also I think the conflict comes when it's greed and it's not for what you need, it's for, excess. And I think that's probably the main issue because if everyone had just, gone for what you needed, then there probably wouldn't be as much of an issue.
Very, very wise words. Very, very wise words. And I think you've really hit the nail on the head because most people are just living their lives and looking after their families. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
And it's hard to find the bandwidth to actually change or do anything. But how are things going to change if people can't find the bandwidth? Like what's that? I mean, people talking about it is part of it, and it gets on the agenda and stays on the agenda. But back to what I was asking about anxiety and stuff, it does loom large over everything, doesn't it?
It kind of reminds me, I mean, I'm not religious, but I heard a story when I was a kid about this guy who's throwing starfish back into the ocean and somebody comes along and they're like, why are you doing this? You're not saving anything on a wide scale. And then he's like, yeah, but to this starfish, it's the whole world. So I think anything that anyone does to protect this earth in any way is going to be, important. And every creature is a whole world in itself. And every patch of land is a whole world in itself. So, yeah, everything is important.
Well, what you're saying there as well about excess and just taking what you need. Like how do you, or how can anyone translate that into their daily life? So you're saying, just paraphrasing what you've just said, you're saying avoid excess, avoid greed.
Yeah, I suppose more towards big companies, people who are quite wealthy. I mean, they have a lot of the power, don't they? In terms of globally.
Yeah, but they do. But one thing I've learned the kind of long way around is that people only do things when they have to, more or less. Very few people do things before they have to.
Oh yes, like leaving things until it gets really bad and then trying to turn things around then. Yeah, we are procrastinators, aren't we, as a species?
Yeah. In a way, it's
Not everyone,
efficient.
but-
In a way, it's efficient. Like do things just in time, and our whole economy now is built on just in time. Everything arrives just when you need it. But the whole Brexit thing is really shown like
I
that.
won't speak about Brexit because I have no idea about it.
Well, even
Please don't ask me
but even
on the radio, please.
you know what? Do you know the really weird thing? That is the first time I've ever mentioned that word on the show.
Is it? It's like, I was talking to my boyfriend today and I was like, I just know I'm going to end up being asked about it somehow. I'm going to put myself in that situation and I'm just going to collapse and like become a blob on the ground. Yeah, it's just my life.
It was never my intention to ever ask a question about that thing, and I've somehow managed. Oh, but I know why I was linking it, because I was basically talking about how stuff just happens just in time. And if you look at like the government of that country that's next to us, their definition of just in time and our definition of just in time are wildly different on the B word issue. So like, how do we?
I'm just gonna laugh.
I'm not going to say it again.
Pretend I know what you're.
I'm not even going to say
saying,
the B word again, because I can't believe that's the first time I've ever said it. Oh my God. So to go on to back to what we were talking about.
Bumblebees. That's a good B word.
Bumblebees.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful B word. Has this whole looming potential environmental catastrophe, has it found its way into any of your songs?
Oh, it actually has. Carousel, I kind of wrote that from that place of, worrying about the future. It's kind of like this love song between a boy and a girl, and they're living in a world that's kind of, getting sicker and sicker, and the boy doesn't notice because he's concerned with material things and bettering himself in his ambition. But, she notices and she gets sicker and sicker as the earth does. So that was one song that was kind of along those lines.
Would you like to play it, or would that involve you retuning your guitar?
Oh, yeah, I guess I could play that one.
This is your love, written on paper, flowing through blood, afraid to wake her, while painted horses rise and fall. You forgot your promise, you forgot it all. And she'll always dream, but sleep isn't yours tonight. In your mind you're dressed in a spirit white, to soften the lines of time and borrow the faintness of the clouds. And they disappear as quick as the sky will allow. This is your reason. The wings wings of a moth. Pinned to the linen and sewn onto cloth. And a carousel in the night. You carry your bird in a cage. Beauty is fleeting, but your bird will never age. You knew the sun would rise on me asleep and under your window. Long ago, our love was treading water. Now that we can't grow old, can we still love each other? If my heart can't be cold, then it can't be warm. I am lost in this light, longing to return to the storm. And a carousel moves in the night. This is the closest I will get to flight. 'Cause you'll leave me spinning till the rise of the sun, and turn your back on me when all this is done. When all this is done. But you said love lives forever, or as long as a sea can flow, till our time is severed. Your love is a wave of hope. We are on the other side of the glass from each other. If you don't come back, I'll be trapped in a silver mirror. And though we couldn't last, I heard you're on the way to somewhere where the sky is neither black and the forests have cleaned the air. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there.
So that was Carousel
Yeah.
from Saoirse Casey's amazing debut album. As I said to you before we started recording, your dad, who shares the same surname as you, Paddy Casey, said to me a few weeks ago, my daughter's got an album, and he sent it to me, and I was really dreading listening to it because I was worried it was going to be rubbish. Not that I expected it to be rubbish, but I was worried because it would be an awkward situation. But I needn't have worried because it's an incredible album. I love it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't really know. Like, it just, yeah, there's just so much going on, and it's great. It's really great. And I urge people to listen to it. I assume it's on all this streaming, whatever people can.
Yeah, it's on those things. Spotify.
Yeah.
iTunes, my website. That's the best one.
That's the
place
best
to go.
place.
Yeah.
To like buy it directly.
Yeah, exactly. I can sign it and stuff.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. But we're in infancy in terms of you in the outside world. Mm-hmm. A couple of weeks in. And yeah, I really look forward to seeing what's going to happen. I'm sure there'll be lots of amazing gigs. I'm sorry I missed the launch in Whelan's, but I'm sure there's
all right.
more gigs afoot. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it. What I'm leading up to is you getting to play the song that you wanted to play.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Which song is it you wanted to play?
The song I'd like to play is Breathe Easy.
And why is this the one that you're like, that's the one I want to play?
This one, I feel the most for it, I think.
Wow, so you're picking favourites.
Yeah, I think so.
And why is it your favourite at the moment?
Oh, well,
Is it the newest song on the album? Is it the one you wrote last?
no, actually, it's one of the early ones. I just feel the most for it. Like, I feel like it fits me most. Yeah. When I knew you, you would always try to find whatever was safe, whatever was right, whatever would help me sleep at night. When I knew you, and the earth would sing with you, following close behind 100 hummingbirds in flight. They all loved you, and if I could, I'd go far from this land. There's nothing safe in loving a man. A bird will command, sing for me as people say goodbye to my body, to my body. I used to have this dream, watch the falling star crumbling like chalk in the rain. All of my memories were etched inside of me in beautiful characters no one else could see. When I knew you, no one else could see. No one else. No one else. A bird will come, and you were there, holding your hand out, and you were there, holding your hand out, and you were there, holding your hand out, and you were there, holding your hand out. Hey! I used to have this dream, and you were there. We'd go somewhere just to be and to breathe easy, breathe easy. Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-dum, da-dum. Breathe easy.
How do you want people to feel as a result of hearing your music?
Some of the songs are peaceful and others powerful.
Talk to me about the powerful.
With Rivers, definitely that's something that I want to give people strength with that song, because I think I wrote it for myself to give me strength or to make me feel unafraid.
And is it to give people strength or to give women in particular strength?
I would say that song is particularly women, and anyone who feels it's difficult to be themselves or it's difficult to admit that they're strong, I think.
What do you think is worth writing about? Like, does a song just come to you and you write it, or are you going, I want to do this, I want to do that? What's that process like for you?
For me, I feel like any feeling is worth writing about. Not necessarily worth hearing at the end, but definitely worth writing about, because you're feeling something for a reason and it's probably got something to teach you. And sometimes by writing about it, you're kind of having a dialogue with yourself and getting to know yourself and giving yourself advice and stuff like that,
So you're your own first audience and you're kind of processing stuff.
Yeah, and your own agony aunt in a way too. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like talking to yourself, but in song.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Amazing. I'm gobsmacked, Saoirse. Incredible.
Thank you.
Really, really incredible. And I just know through the years so many people are going to get so much from your music. There's no doubt about it. So thanks a million. Thanks.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
And
Thank you.
You've been listening to Born Optimistic. Until next week, thank you very much, Saoirse Casey. Bye.